Everyone talks about cheap cars like they're a gamble, like they'll fall apart the moment you buy them. But here's the truth most people never hear. Some of the cheapest used cars on the market are also the toughest machines ever built. Cars you can buy for under $5,000. Cars with 150,000 miles that still wake up every morning and go to work. Cars that don't impress your neighbors, but quietly save you thousands over time. Today, we're counting down 10 specific used cars under $5,000 that actually run forever. Not hype, not nostalgia. Real models that survive abuse, neglect, and ridiculous mileage. Let's get into it. Right now, buying a cheap used car in America feels risky. Prices are still high, interest rates hurt, and a lot of buyers are dropping into the sub-$5,000 range because they don't have a choice. And most people are told the same thing. At that price, everything is junk. That's not true. The problem isn't the budget. The problem is buying the wrong kind of car. Some vehicles were engineered for longevity. Simple engines, old-school transmissions, cheap parts, forgiving designs that don't punish you for being human. Others were designed to impress when new and collapse later. Every car on this list is one you can realistically find in the US for under $5,000. Every one of them has proven it can push past 200,000 miles. And every one of them gives you something rare in today's market: predictability. This isn't about loving cars, it's about buying time, stability, and breathing room. So let's start with number 10 and work our way up to the cheapest car that refuses to die. Number 10, the Toyota Corolla model. Years 2003 to 2008. The Toyota Corolla is one of the most honest cars ever sold in the United States. And that honesty is exactly why it lasts so long. It is not exciting, it is not fast, and it does not try to impress anyone. What it does instead is show up every day and keep running long after other cars have given up. You can still find these Corollas under $5,000 all over the country, often with 150,000 miles or more on the odometer. That kind of mileage scares many buyers away, but this generation was built for exactly that kind of use. The engine is simple, naturally aspirated, and lightly stressed, which is why it keeps going year after year. The automatic transmission in these cars is basic and proven, and when it has been serviced even reasonably well, it rarely becomes a financial problem. There is no turbocharger, no complicated electronics, and no high-risk engineering that turns small issues into big bills. What really makes this Corolla special is how forgiving it is. Miss an oil change once, and it usually survives. Drive it hard every day, and it usually survives. Use it only for commuting and errands, and it thrives. This is the kind of car that does not punish owners for being human. Repairs are cheap, parts are everywhere, and almost every mechanic in America knows this platform inside and out. Suspension components and brakes wear over time, but they are inexpensive to replace, and even larger repairs rarely turn into financial disasters. This is a car that regularly reaches 200,000 miles without drama, and many examples push past 250,000 miles with nothing more than basic maintenance. The Toyota Corolla earns the number 10 spot because it does exactly what people need at this price point. It starts, it drives, and it does not destroy your budget. And coming up next is number 9, a car that offers the same kind of durability, but with more space and an even stronger reputation for surviving abuse. Number 9, the Honda Civic model years, 2001 to 2005. The early 2000s, Honda Civic is one of the most proven long-term survivors ever sold in the US. It does not look special, and that is exactly why it works so well for buyers under $5,000. This car was engineered during a time when simplicity mattered more than features. You can still find these Civics under $5,000 in almost every state, usually with mileage well above 150,000 miles. To many buyers, that sounds risky. In reality, for this generation of Civic, that mileage is barely middle age. The engines in these cars are extremely durable when basic maintenance has been done. They are naturally aspirated, lightly stressed, and known for running smoothly even after years of neglect. Oil leaks can happen, but they are usually minor and manageable, not catastrophic. The automatic transmissions from this era are far more reliable than many people expect, and the manual versions are even tougher. Clutches are cheap, parts are plentiful, and repairs rarely turn into major financial events. What really separates this Civic from most cheap used cars is how predictable it is. When something wears out, it gives warning. Suspension parts, motor mounts, and cooling components fail gradually, not suddenly. That predictability is priceless when money is tight. Maintenance costs stay low because parts are cheap and labor is straightforward. There is nothing exotic here. Almost every independent shop in America has worked on hundreds of these cars. It is very common to see these Civics reach 250,000 miles with the original engine and transmission still intact. Many of them keep going simply because there is no financial reason to stop fixing them. The Honda Civic earns the number 9 spot because it gives buyers exactly what they need under $5,000. Reliable transportation, low repair costs, and an ownership experience that does not come with constant fear. And coming up next is number 8, a car that is slightly bigger, just as durable, and often overlooked even though it refuses to die. Number 8, the Ford Crown Victoria model. Years 2003 to 2008, the Ford Crown Victoria is one of the toughest cars ever put on American roads, and it is still one of the best bargains under $5,000. This car was not designed to feel modern or efficient. It was designed to survive abuse, and that mindset shows in every major component. You can regularly find Crown Victorias under $5,000, often with very high mileage. Many of these cars started life as fleet vehicles, taxis, or police cruisers, which scares some buyers away. In reality, that history is often a good thing, because fleet cars usually receive consistent maintenance. The heart of the Crown Victoria is the 4.6-liter V8, an engine with a legendary reputation for longevity. It is understressed, simple, and known for running well past 300,000 miles. There is no turbocharger, no complicated valve timing systems, and no fragile components that turn age into a disaster. The automatic transmission is just as durable when serviced properly. Even when repairs are needed, rebuilds are straightforward and relatively affordable compared to modern transmissions. What makes this car special is how forgiving it is. It tolerates hard driving, long idle times, and poor road conditions better than almost anything else in this price range. Suspension parts wear out, but they are large, cheap, and easy to replace. Parts availability is excellent, and labor costs are low because the design is simple and spacious. There is room to work under the hood, which keeps repair bills reasonable. Fuel economy is not great, but the trade-off is reliability and predictability. Many owners gladly accept higher gas costs in exchange for a car that rarely surprises them with major failures. The Ford Crown Victoria earns the number 8 spot because it offers something rare in the sub-$5,000 market. It is built like a tank, cheap to keep alive, and capable of running far longer than most people expect. And coming up next is number 7, a car that is smaller and more efficient, but just as stubborn when it comes to refusing to quit. Number 7, the Toyota Camry model years 2002 to 2006, the early 2000s. Toyota Camry is one of the safest long-term bets you can make under $5,000. It does not feel special, and it does not try to be exciting. What it offers instead is stability, durability, and an ownership experience that stays boring in the best possible way. You can still find these Camrys under $5,000 across the US, usually with 160,000 to 200,000 miles. That number scares a lot of buyers, but for this generation, it is completely normal. These cars were built to rack up miles without demanding constant attention. The engines in these Camrys are known for longevity. They are simple, naturally aspirated, and not pushed hard. With basic oil changes and cooling system maintenance, they routinely pass 250,000 miles. Many of them go well beyond that without needing major engine work. The automatic transmissions in these years are also proven. When they fail, it is usually after very high mileage or poor maintenance, not because of a design flaw. Compared to modern transmissions, repairs are simpler and far less expensive. What really makes the Camry shine at this price point is how predictable it is. Problems show up gradually. Suspension parts wear slowly. Cooling components give warning. There are very few sudden, wallet-destroying failures. Parts are cheap and easy to find, and labor costs stay reasonable because mechanics know this platform well. Almost every independent shop has worked on hundreds of these cars, which keeps repair bills under control. The Toyota Camry earns the number 7 spot because it gives buyers peace of mind. It may not be exciting, but it is one of the most reliable ways to buy time when money is tight. And coming up next is number 6, a car that is often overlooked, extremely simple, and capable of surviving an incredible amount of neglect. Number 6, the Buick LeSabre model, years 2000 to 2005. The Buick LeSabre is one of the most overlooked long-term survivors in the American used car market. It does not have a cool image, and that is exactly why it is such a strong value under $5,000. These cars are often owned by older drivers and quietly maintained for years. You can still find LeSabres well under $5,000, often with mileage between 150,000 and 220,000 miles. To many buyers, that sounds like the end of the road. In reality, for this platform, it is just the halfway point. The 3.8-liter V6 is the reason this car makes the list. It is one of the most durable engines GM ever built. It is simple, under-stressed, and known for running hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. The automatic transmissions paired with this engine are also far more durable than people expect. When problems do appear, they are usually gradual, not sudden failures that leave owners stranded. What makes the LeSabre especially valuable is how cheap it is to keep running. Parts are inexpensive, labor is straightforward, and there is plenty of room to work under the hood. This keeps repair bills low, even as the car ages. Suspension and steering components wear over time, but replacements are affordable and widely available. There are no complex electronics or high-risk systems that turn small problems into financial disasters. Fuel economy is reasonable for a large sedan, and the ride is comfortable, which makes this car easy to live with every day. Many owners keep these cars simply because there is no financial reason not to. The Buick LeSabre earns the number 6 spot because it offers something rare under $5,000. It is boring, durable, and incredibly cost-effective to own long-term. And coming up next is number 5, a car that is smaller, even cheaper to maintain, and famous for surviving abuse all over the world. Number 5, the Toyota Matrix model. Years 2003 to 2008. The Toyota Matrix is one of the most underrated long-term cars you can buy under $5,000. It looks simple, almost forgettable, and that is exactly why it works so well. This car shares most of its mechanical parts with the Corolla, which means it inherits the same durability. You can still find these Matrix models under $5,000 across the US, usually with mileage between 160,000 and 230,000 miles. That mileage scares a lot of people, but for this platform, it is completely normal. These cars were built to be driven hard and used daily. The engines are simple and proven. There is no turbocharger, no complicated electronics, and no fragile systems that fail suddenly. With basic oil changes and cooling system maintenance, these engines routinely pass 250,000 miles. The transmissions are just as dependable. Automatic versions hold up well with fluid changes, and manual versions are especially tough. Clutches are inexpensive, and repairs are straightforward. What makes the Matrix especially valuable is how practical it is. It offers hatchback space, good visibility, and simple interior components that do not break easily. There is very little inside this car that can turn into an expensive repair. Parts availability is excellent, and repair costs stay low because everything is shared with other high-volume Toyota models. Almost any mechanic can work on this car without hesitation. The Toyota Matrix earns the number 5 spot because it combines Corolla-level reliability with extra practicality. It is the kind of car that people keep driving simply because it refuses to give them a reason to stop. And coming up next is number 4, a car that is even simpler, incredibly cheap to fix, and known for surviving extreme mileage all over the world. Number 4, the Honda Accord model years 2000 to 2004, the early 2000s. Honda Accord is one of the most balanced long-term cars you can buy under $5,000. It is larger and more comfortable than a Civic, but it keeps the same philosophy of simplicity and durability. This is the kind of car Honda built when longevity mattered more than features. You can still find these Accords under $5,000 across the US, often with 170,000 to 230,000 miles. That mileage scares some buyers, but for this generation, it is not a red flag. It is simply proof that the car was used as intended. The engines in these Accords are known for running a very long time with basic maintenance. They are naturally aspirated, not heavily stressed, and tolerant of everyday use. With regular oil changes and cooling system care, 250,000 miles is common, and many go beyond that. The automatic transmissions in these years are far more reliable than later generations. When problems do appear, they usually develop slowly, giving owners time to plan instead of being forced into sudden repairs. What makes this Accord especially valuable is how predictable ownership is. Suspension parts wear gradually. Steering components give warning. There are very few surprise failures that instantly destroy the budget. Parts are inexpensive, widely available, and easy to replace. Labor costs stay reasonable because mechanics have worked on these cars for decades. There is nothing exotic or overly complex hiding under the hood. The Honda Accord earns the number 4 spot because it offers space, comfort, and durability at a price where most cars are already worn out. It is a car that keeps making sense long after the purchase. And coming up next is number 3, a car that is smaller, extremely simple, and famous for surviving abuse in some of the toughest conditions imaginable. Number 3, the Toyota Avalon model. Years 2000 to 2004, the early 2000s. Toyota Avalon is one of the most underrated long-term vehicles you can buy under $5,000. It does not get much attention, and that lack of attention is exactly why it is such a strong value. This car was built as a comfortable, long-distance sedan, not as a feature-packed showpiece. You can still find these Avalons under $5,000 in many parts of the US, often with 180,000 to 240,000 miles. That number looks high on paper, but for this platform, it is completely normal. These cars were designed to live on the highway and rack up miles with ease. The 3.0-liter V6 in these Avalons is one of Toyota's most durable engines. It is smooth, understressed, and known for running hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. Oil changes and cooling system care are usually enough to keep it going. The automatic transmissions in these years are also very robust. Failures are rare when fluid has been changed occasionally, and even when repairs are needed, they are far less expensive than modern transmission work. What makes the Avalon special is how calm and predictable ownership feels. The car does not surprise you with sudden failures. Problems appear gradually, giving owners time to plan and budget. Parts are easy to find, repair costs are reasonable, and the ride quality stays comfortable even at high mileage. Many owners keep these cars simply because replacing them does not make financial sense. The Toyota Avalon earns the number 3 spot because it combines comfort with exceptional durability. It is proof that a car does not need to be small or basic to run forever. And coming up next is number 2, a car that is extremely simple, incredibly cheap to fix, and famous for refusing to die no matter how it is treated. Number 2, the Mazda B-Series pickup model. Years 1998 to 2004. The Mazda B-Series is one of the toughest and most overlooked vehicles you can buy under $5,000. At first glance, it looks like an old basic pickup with nothing special going on. In reality, it is one of the most durable small trucks ever sold in the US. You can still find these trucks under $5,000 with very high mileage, often well over 200,000 miles. That scares a lot of buyers, but for this platform, mileage like that is expected. These trucks were built to work, not to impress. The engines in the B-Series are simple and proven. There is no turbocharger, no complex electronics, and no fragile systems that fail suddenly. With basic oil changes and cooling system maintenance, these engines are known to keep running far longer than most people expect. The manual transmissions are extremely durable, and even the automatic versions hold up well compared to modern trucks. Repairs when needed are straightforward and affordable because the design is old school and easy to work on. What makes the B-Series special is how much abuse it can take. These trucks tolerate poor roads, heavy use, and inconsistent maintenance better than almost anything else in this price range. Suspension and steering parts wear out, but they are cheap and easy to replace. Parts availability is excellent, and labor costs stay low because everything is simple and accessible. Many owners keep these trucks running simply because fixing them always costs less than replacing them. The Mazda B-Series earns the number 2 spot because it offers something rare under $5,000. It is durable, predictable, and built to keep working long after most vehicles would have quit. And now we're down to number 1, the cheapest car on this list that refuses to die. Number 1, the Toyota Echo model. Years 2000 to 2005. The Toyota Echo is one of the simplest and most durable cars Toyota ever sold in the United States. It does not look impressive, and it never tried to be. That simplicity is exactly why it earns the number 1 spot. You can still find Toyota Echoes under $5,000 almost anywhere, often with 180,000 to 250,000 miles. That kind of mileage scares most buyers away, but for this car, it is not a warning sign. It is proof of how well it survives long-term use. The engine is extremely basic and lightly stressed. There is no turbocharger, no complicated electronics, and very little that can fail suddenly. With regular oil changes and basic maintenance, these engines are known to run far beyond 250,000 miles. The transmissions are just as dependable. Automatic versions are simple and durable, and manual versions are nearly indestructible. When repairs are needed, they are cheap and straightforward. What makes the Echo special is how little it asks from its owner. Fuel economy is excellent. Insurance is cheap. Repairs are rare and inexpensive. Even when something breaks, it rarely turns into a financial problem. This is the kind of car people keep driving because there is no reason to stop. It does not demand attention. It does not punish neglect. It simply keeps going. The Toyota Echo earns the #1 spot because it represents exactly what buyers under $5,000 need: maximum durability, minimum cost, and an ownership experience that stays predictable year after year. Cheap cars do not have to be risky. The real danger is buying complexity when your budget cannot absorb surprises. Simple cars with proven engines and basic transmissions often outlast newer, more expensive vehicles. If your goal is to buy time, stability, and peace of mind, these are the kinds of cars that actually make sense. Subscribe to The Car Truth and protect your wallet before it's too late.